It still deserves a lot of question why a company that has faced so much scrutiny for conditions in apartments across the Kansas City area still continues to pursue evictions. Sinks backing up, floors flooded. Emily Truster says she's received no help to clean up her unit in the Raytown Village apartments.
This shows the wall and the mold.
Truster's withheld part of her rent since she says she's fronted money for cleanup. It's not unlike other stories KMBC 9 News has documented for more than a year about T.E.H. Realty.
This is wall mold.
Tuesday, KMBC 9 News was in court as Ms. Truster told a judge about those conditions. The property manager and lawyer representing a T.E.H. affiliate there too, asking for thousands in back rent from Truster, as she told the judge she was not willing to pay due to the apartment's safety.
Hopefully she'll realize that, I've been living in less than safe and desirable conditions.
Okay, so I'll get you a decision in the next day or two.
The judge said she'd think about a decision over the next couple of days as we asked the lawyer why he's moving forward with the case.
Especially considering this Truster's apartment conditions, do you think that's fair to continue to pursue a case like this?
I really have no comment, sir.
We tried to reach out to T.E.H. manager Michael Fine today, but didn't hear back. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News. Here at the Ruskin Place Apartments in South Kansas City, a woman reached out to us with a heartbreaking situation. Pregnant during a pandemic, Brianna Dixon just tested positive for COVID-19.
So now I'm stuck on what I need to do.
Dixon needs help, facing eviction after losing her job, saying she never got a lease when an affiliate of notorious Kansas City landlord T.E.H. Realty still owned Ruskin Place. Residents have complained about broken HVAC systems.
Use my oven to keep warm.
And other dangerous conditions for months. Dixon sees them too.
Ever since I moved in, I've been calling them, telling them to come fix things around my house.
There's a class action lawsuit against T.E.H. Realty at Ruskin Place. A lawyer representing tenants in that suit says Dixon should not be evicted since she moved in while T.E.H. was still in control. The current management, who did not want to go on camera, says they still want payment, but is working with the lawyer now to investigate Ms. Dixon's claims.
Something gotta give.
Meanwhile, Dixon says she doesn't want to be out on the streets.
It just don't make sense. It don't make sense to me at all.
Bottom line, Ms. Dixon should not be facing eviction since she moved in when the former owners, T.E.H. Realty, had control of Ruskin Place. We're going to stay on this story to make sure she gets the justice she deserves. In South Kansas City, Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News. Michael Fine was managing partner and vice president of T.E.H. He owned and managed several properties across the country, including the Green Village townhomes right behind me. Fine is now facing charges of wire fraud and bank fraud connected to $28 million in fraudulent bank loans, according to an indictment. We have video of him from one of our previous investigations, and prosecutors claim Fine would file false documents to obtain loans for several properties. He's accused of obtaining a loan for more than $12 million linked to the Green Village townhomes by falsifying occupancy rates and rental income. The indictment comes after a year of investigations by KMBC 9 News into the dangerous living conditions in T.E.H. properties. We're going to continue following this all the way through as this case moves on. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News. The Nob Hill Apartments here in South Kansas City had broken air conditioners and raw sewage among several other complaints by residents. The man who managed these apartments is now indicted, but it's not all happy news for one-time residents.
Everything works in there. It's great. I like it. I got new furniture and everything.
Hadia Muhammad has a new place to live after 2 years in the Nob Hill Apartments.
There's no air.
We met her last summer as her thermostat read 87 degrees. Outside, her air conditioner was broken. What would you say to Michael Fine if you could talk to him?
Give me my money.
Muhammad moved out and has not gotten her $650 deposit back. Just one of hundreds of people who say they were taken advantage of. I'm Matt Fleener from KMBC. Are you one of the owners of T.E.H. Realty? By T.E.H. Realty managing partner Michael Fine. Well, okay, so I'm Matt from Channel 9. KMBC exposed Fine's practices for more than a year. Until Thursday, a federal grand jury accused him of forging loan documents to buy apartments in Kansas City and St. Louis.
Just so proud of the tenants that fought back.
Wilson Vance with Casey Tenants spent months helping people speak out against the dangerous living conditions in T.E.H. properties.
If it weren't for tenants speaking up, telling their stories, organizing, building tenant unions, taking T.E.H. to court, this wouldn't have happened.
All of them don't work.
At the same time, everyone has mixed emotions since there's so much hurt that happened.
I would tell Michael, thanks a lot for jacking us.
That's the difficulty of this story. Some of these residents are out hundreds or thousands of dollars, not sure if they'll ever get their money back. By the way, Fine is most likely in Israel. The FBI is now in charge of tracking him down. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News. Tonight, a huge victory for tenants at Ruskin Place Apartments off Blue Ridge Boulevard after years of horrible living conditions. You might remember November of last year when we met Tanette Washington at Ruskin Place. She only had one way to keep her grandkids warm.
I'm using my oven to stay warm.
That's not safe.
It's not, but that's what I have. Can't go back to a motel room.
Maintenance requests unfulfilled. Washington eventually joined a class action lawsuit against Michael Fine and an affiliate of T.E.H. Realty, alleging her oven eventually exploded and caught fire. Tuesday, a Jackson County judge found Michael Fine and T.E.H. Realty ran a bait and switch operation, showing tenants nice apartments but moving them into dangerous, filthy ones. One tenant said she and her children had to sleep with the lights on to prevent roaches from crawling on their bodies. The judge found Michael Fine specifically targeted lower middle-class housing units to get attractive cash flow, estimating a net worth of T.E.H. of $120 million, ordering Fine and his associates to pay up.
They're cowards. They've run and just like the cockroaches in their apartments, they run and hide. And so we're going to go hunting. And we're going to probably have to look in some crevices.
The attorney representing those tenants in the case said that because Michael Fine is now a federal fugitive. A grand jury indicted him last month for wire fraud and bank fraud. He's most likely in Israel, and the FBI is in charge of bringing him back to Missouri. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
An apartment complex formerly owned by T.E.H. Realty is having trouble again tonight. That's the company KMBC 9 News has investigated for 2 years over poor living conditions. Investigative reporter Matt Fleener has this update from Grandview.
It's not fair.
With wind chills well below zero, Monday morning, this portion of the Stony Brook South Apartments had zero power.
I don't have a propane tank or a heater of any sort.
A woman who did not want to be identified told us her building is freezing. You can see a shared entryway has no window, snow blowing inside.
The property manager told KMBC 9 Investigates there are 12 units inside this building without power.
We learned 12 more in another portion of the complex had no power as well.
There's no air.
The property is under new ownership after years of management by T.E.H. Realty, a company KMBC investigated for years for poor living conditions. Evergy told KMBC on Monday the new property manager needs to make required repairs to the buildings before power comes back on.
I can sit in my car and just put gas in it.
Meanwhile, people who live here have to find other ways to stay warm. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
KMBC 9 News will keep checking on the situation until power is restored. The property manager says all residents were offered hotel rooms to stay warm.